Ahoy, mateys. Welcome back. It's Will from the Think Different podcast, and I thought I'd come up here with a quick tutorial today on using iMovie in iOS 13. Now, I use iMovie in iOS for my other videography business, WV Productions. Check me out if you're looking to have your wedding filmed. But on the screen right now, I have two projects, one from my wrestling and one from a wedding I filmed. So I thought, why not show you guys something that I've made. I'm going to tap on this and I'm going to have you guys watch it real quick.
By the power vested in me, I now pronounce you husband and wife. You may now share your first kiss.
All right, that was the video. So I hope you guys enjoyed that video. I made that in one day. That's right. The night of that wedding, I already had that ready to go on my Instagram channel. That's how fast I got this done. The main reason how this all worked was, one, you film with your iPhone, but I also filmed with a drone, as you can tell. And the drone was significant because it sends lower quality video from the drone directly to your device, which is so convenient. Basically saved it to my library, and now I had it available to edit here. So I want to kind of show you a little bit on how to edit something like this. Again, you know, I've been using iMovie on this for years, so I understand you may not be able to get this all down as quick as I am, but that's just because I'm experienced. So when you open iMovie, the first thing you're going to see is a project, and you have two options. You have the trailer or the movie. Now, the trailer feature hasn't really been updated in many years. I used to use it back in the day. It was good for the time, but now anybody could do this, and it's not really much of a change you can make to it. You can do some changes, but you're really restricted on it. Unless you bring it to like Final Cut or iMovie on the phone, you can convert it and then change it around. But really, it's not as good as I think as it used to be for a feature. So I choose movie. Now, by default, I'm going to be creating something from Easter. I'm going to grab a whole bunch of clips and videos. So either I can select everything on the list that's in the date. As you could tell, it knows it was Easter, so it's very easy to organize. It understands that very well. If you don't want to work in moments, you can go back and work in photo, video, albums. So if you already created albums, you can go through there. But I find that Moments actually does a pretty good job. So I'm just going to select all the clips. Now, the question is, in the order that I select them, is that the order that they're going to go into the movie? Well, we're about to find out. So I'm going to tap. We're going to start back on Easter when we first started making everything. So let's go through. My wife's making stuff. My pets were enjoying it. We had the Easter bunny come around the corner. That was a nice uplifting moment because everything that's going on with the coronavirus. So I'm tapping on everything, and I'm just going to hit create movie. And now it's just going to create the movie for me, and here we are. If I go back to the very beginning of this, so it took it by the first picture. So everything's in order based on when it was filmed. So that's the order the movie put it in. Is it my favorite way of doing it? No, I would like to do it where you can select things, but then you got to do one at a time. It makes it I really would like it where if you select the first one, that's the one it grabs. But it doesn't seem like it did that. So let's go through this. So real quickly, so as you can see, the photos already have. There's a video I did on Instagram of us making our keto-friendly stuff, but you can see they already have a Ken Burns effect on them, which is really great, very easy. You don't really have to do too much. And of course, there's my dog eating the peanut butter. Now, we don't need this long clip of him, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go somewhere. I'm going to say, if I play it back.
You love your peanut butters? Yeah, who loves his peanut butters?
And yeah, my dog is awesome. I'm going to tap right here. And there's an option what I could do. I want to split this because the other half of this I'm going to delete. I don't want this 20-second video of my dog doing peanut butter. You get the idea. He's doing the same thing over and over. So I'm going to hit split. And now there's a break here in between the two. So the half that I don't need is this half. I don't need it. Now, there is a trimmer on the end. That big yellow line is a trimmer. I don't need to use that for this, but if you wanted to trim it, you could. But we're just going to delete it. I'm going to hit delete, and it goes away and goes to the next clip. Same deal. This was the fire truck, so I'm going to go to the point. I find it easier to split than to drag the whole thing all the way to the end. So I'm just going to go to where the bunny shows up. Delete this clip. There it goes. Now you notice that if I play it back, it's a straight cut. And I don't like that. So I'm going to tap in between, and we have different transitions. They have a theme transition, which corresponds with the theme you have. I just go to simple dissolve. We'll make it really simple. See, much better. That's much better. All right. So let's scroll. Again, we don't need the whole thing to the end. So again, we'll just get to the bunny. Waving around. That's so cool. Okay, we'll actually split this up, delete that, put a transition in there. And if you want, you can also extend the transition. There's numbers. It's 0.5, 1 second, 1.5, 2 seconds. So you do have different time frames. So for the sake of it, we'll just do 2 seconds just to make it longer. And that's me eat my pierogies. This is our Easter dinner. And then we do a tradition. So I thought this I kind of like leaving the whole thing in there. It's just tradition. We hit the egg. If you ever wanted to do like a really cool tradition. Actually, if you see here, I'm happy. My wife did win the competition, but I don't want to go backwards. So this is a good point where we're going to use the trim feature. There's not much I have to take out. So we're just going to drag it backwards. And look at that. It just goes right back as she celebrates. This Ken Burns is not that good. It's missing some of the table. So I'm just going to tap on it. And there's a pinch to position the start. So I'm going to take 2 fingers. I'm pinching where I want it to begin. I want it to be more along the lines of here. And then I'm going to tap on the triangle with the line at the end there. Tap there. Pinch at the end. So I'm not going to make it go too far. I just want to get that part. And then there we go. And it says Ken Burns enabled. You can disable it if you don't want it. But now look at the difference. See, now we go from there. And now it's showing this. Very nice. And here's just a couple more pictures of the dog and then all the family on Zoom. And that's where I'm going to end my video. So right now I have right now it says it's 1 minute, 26 seconds. Remember, if you're going to post stuff on Instagram, it has to be a minute long, or else you have to use the IGTV feature, or Facebook doesn't have a limit, but Instagram does. I try to say keep these movies under a minute if you're trying to do like more personal things. But now let's add some music. So I'm going to hit the plus sign, and now there's audio. Now what's great is that they added soundtracks in here. Before, when this first started, there wasn't that many. Now there's a lot, and I love it. I think it's they have some really good ones in here. So let's pick a good one. You just have to tap on it to download. You can see some are grayed out because you got to download them, so they aren't ready right away. You can download all of them. At the very top, they added that little cloud icon. Let's play one. All right. I actually like that one. So we're going to hit the plus sign. And ready to go, bam, puts the track right in. So now let's go back to the beginning. What I'm going to do now is I want to put a title here. Now, this is a very unique thing that a lot of people don't do. The title, I don't want it to be so long. So actually, I'm just going to place text and make this a little harder. I'm just going to do a lower third because we have our faces on the screen. It makes it much easier. So let's do that. I'm actually going to use a unique feature, undo. Undo is a good feature. Maybe I'm just not feeling it right now. So I don't know what I'm going to do with that yet. So I'm just going to keep using the undo button. Very, very helpful. Also, there's the arrow with the line at the end where the play button is. To the left of that brings you right back, one clip at a time. Very easy way to get backwards. So right now I think I'm just going to kind of leave it without a text. I think I'm just going to put a description in there. This one I'm not really feeling a text. I think you get the idea what this is based on what the video is about. And then we're just going to... another icon is a gear icon in the bottom right corner. There it is. And I'm going to do a fade in from black and a fade out from black. I think you should always include that. Then they have these filters if you want to add some filters to it to add a little theme. For this one, I don't think I'm going to do anything. I kind of like the way it is. If you do want to tap on it, you can change color. There is a color filters on the bottom for each individual clip. But for this one, I'm not going to include one. Sometimes I do that for online, but sometimes I use the filters that are already on Instagram or Facebook. I think they look a little bit better and you have a little more control. iMovie doesn't really give you a lot of control, I feel, on the look. So I kind of like leaving it the way it is, not really doing much. All right, so that's my video. So when I hit done, it saves it. And I'm going to name it. I'll call it My Easter 2020. And there it is. And then I can play it back. I can always go back in and edit it. And then you can scroll through. Now there's other things too. Like you can have like audio. Like right now I have audio in this one.
My fetus family tradition.
There's this neat feature. If you go down the bottom, there's a bunch of different options in here. One of them in the cutting tool is detach. That would actually take the audio off of the video clip. Now this is how I achieved that when I did a feature in the video you just saw with the wedding, where they had audio from the priest come in the background of something else. So what I could do is I can trim this down a little bit. Since I'm talking and there's not really much happening, why not include that over something else? So I'm gonna...
Happy Easter, everybody. In a Vafitas family tradition, we are gonna be cracking the egg as we always do. So just gonna be quickly, it's me against Tara. So here we go. I'm gonna crack it. You gotta hold your egg at the top.
Oh, I'm gonna cut that part out right there, so I don't let where I'm explaining.
Egg at the top up.
No, I'll keep it in.
All right,
Screw
let's
it.
see who wins. Tara wins.
So it's cool. See, I trimmed out some of the video clips, so we lost about 6 seconds. But look how much clearer that looks. I mean, when you have some audio over the pictures, it looks a lot nicer. So the detach, believe it or not, is a really good hidden feature. So this is a real basic starting point for everybody. I wanted to get you kind of going. So I hit done, and now there's a share icon. So now if I really want to, where can I go with this? Well, I can go to Facebook, I can go to Instagram, YouTube, I can go to many different places, but I recommend just hitting save video. That is just going to save the video directly to your library if you're done. Export project will prepare the project for sharing. Why you want to do that? I never really used it, but there is an option you could save it directly to your computer if you wanted to. You could save it to files, which also could be very helpful if you want to save it directly to the computer and maybe do some more work in iMovie. But I'll be honest, for what I'm doing in iMovie, I do everything inside this app. I don't need to go anywhere else. So use this feature. I would tell you, if you want to get started with it, get a couple images in there, work with the detach, don't worry about the filters. Get a nice soundtrack in there and grab something from your Christmas, Easter. I think that's the best starting point to learn. So I hope this was very helpful for you guys. I'm really having a good time doing all these videos for you guys, and I hope you guys think this was kind of easy. And enjoy, guys, and we'll see you next time for another edition of the Think Different podcast on YouTube. And make sure you check us out every Friday for new episodes on every podcast platform.